Journeys of Hope. Life is a journey, and this is your spiritual passport. Where will the journey take us today? Let's walk together as we learn to become people of faith and hope.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special message / mini episode of Journeys of Hope. My name is Angela Sealana, and I am the media coordinator at Pilgrim Center of Hope. Pilgrim Center of Hope, producer of this weekly radio and podcast program, is a nonprofit ministry founded in 1993, and our mission is to guide people to Christ and the church. We provide Catholic events, experiences, and media to initiate that desire in people to encounter Jesus Christ in their daily journey of life. And as you know, Journeys of Hope is a big part of creating that initiation for people in their hearts to encounter Jesus in their daily journey of hope. Well, this week, as you know, we have a weekly radio broadcast, typically each week on Guadalupe Radio Network, 89.7 FM here in San Antonio, as well as other South Central Texas stations. Thanks to our friends at Guadalupe Radio Network, each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for a whole hour, you get to journey with us toward that hope and that encounter with Jesus. Well, this week, we have been preempted by GRN programming, and so we are going to have this mini talk with you all, an inside scoop, if you will, for all of our listeners to the podcast. Now, the podcast, typically, we would provide you when we are preempted by Guadalupe Radio Network, we would provide you with a special programming, some of our treasures from our archives of programming that you have not heard yet on this podcast feed, but that we have with all of our decades of experience producing fantastic media programs here at Pilgrim Center of Hope over the years in many different media. Now, because this week's podcast did not have someone to step up and sponsor the episode, we are providing you with more of an informational update podcast rather than that special spiritual content and programming. So, as you know, we've got thousands of listeners in and beyond our radio coverage area that listen to Journeys of Hope podcast. And the podcast comes out the day after our radio broadcast. So usually it's a great way for people to be able to share what they heard on Guadalupe Radio Network if they heard the live broadcast, as well as a wonderful resource for people who are searching for hope to find that content. And, you know, I heard recently that especially among the young adults, that we're seeing a total resurgence in an interest in the Catholic faith across the country and around the world. Especially here in the U.S., you'll see that typically for this generation of seekers, they will approach the Catholic Church near them only after doing a ton of research beforehand online. And as you know, podcasts are one of the number one things that young adults, people even over the age of 40 will have in their daily life. And so having Journeys of Hope as a podcast is something that we really value and continue to produce. But we can only do it with your help, of course. As you know, we are a nonprofit Catholic evangelization ministry. And I don't only say that because you often hear so many of these fundraising drives and different things going on, especially this part of the year. But I say that because we see ourselves differently. We're not just a nonprofit organization. This organization, Pilgrim Center of Hope, is an answer to a call. We are answering a need. We are responding directly to a call that the Lord has given us, especially our founders, Deacon Tom and Mary Jane Fox, who felt that call to start a missionary journey that led them to founding Pilgrim Center of Hope in 1993. And that all began for them on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. And so that's why we have that image as our branding, if you will, for Journeys of Hope, because it all starts there. It all starts with Jesus calling each and every one of us. And I believe that you, as a listener of this podcast, you right now, God has a call for you, specifically for you this day. And it may be that that call is a tug in your heart to respond to the call for creating more encounters with Jesus Christ for people, going to different organizations to be able to give that encounter with Christ. As an individual, that is so important because we are all limited, and working here at Pilgrim Center of Hope, I see that there are so many people, parents, there are caretakers, people who care for their elderly parents, people who care for disabled children, adult children. There are people who have reasons that they are super busy during the day, like lawyers, doctors, people that are average, every day, working in insurance or working out in a trade, in a craft. And for them to be able to say, Pilgrim Center of Hope, I entrust this mission, some of what I've been given to you to be able to continue this important mission of hope. That is such a beautiful witness of trust in God, of faith, of hope, and of a desire to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And so we do not take that for granted whatsoever. We are very, very good stewards of what you all have given us. Some people might say that we are just a little bit too careful in, keeping the lights on or off and making sure that, we really research everything that we do in terms of spending the donations that have been entrusted to us. So I really want to encourage you, if you are looking for an outlet, if you're looking for a place to be able to entrust some, even if it's just $5 a month of what you have been given by the Lord, then to be able to say, I entrust this to Pilgrim Center of Hope, that is a huge honor for us. So we encourage you, if you want to help to continue Journeys of Hope, to continue our media programming, I invite you, go to our website, pilgrimcenterofhope.org. This week we are in fundraising mode because we have our annual fundraiser, our one annual fundraising event every single year, which is called Rejoice in Hope. And we want to invite you to rejoice in hope this day by giving some of that good gift that God has given you to a worthy cause, which I believe is a worthy cause, Pilgrim Center of Hope. So we invite you, visit pilgrimcenterofhope.org. You'll see there are a couple of banners on our homepage. You can click on any one of those that relate to Rejoice in Hope or to our auction to be able to browse our auction, for example, which will be up online through 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, September 27th, 2025. And that auction, all of the proceeds will benefit Pilgrim Center of Hope. So those items have been donated to us. We are so grateful to all those donors, and we invite you, if you are looking for a gift, if you're looking for a new experience, something fun, something to be able to beautify your home or some jewelry, etc., all kinds of experiences and wonderful things out there to check out on the auction, the Rejoice in Hope auction. So you can do that by visiting pilgrimcenterofhope.org. You can also go directly to pilgrimcenterofhope.org/rejoice, and you'll see the links there to be able to give a donation, to be able to go to the auction. Now, the auction will also include, just as an FYI, that auction also includes different opportunities for you to be able to sponsor programming by Pilgrim Center of Hope. So if you want to be able to go into those all items, view all items, go down to the end of the list and you'll see, starting with the letter Z, all of our other items that are starting with the letter Z are items that you can sponsor, whether that is an episode of Journeys of Hope. We've got about 50 of those ready for you to be able to sponsor at a really reasonable rate. And also for our other programming, such as Meet Mary, our Shroud of Turin exhibition, which is always in need of resources as we continue to expand it. We also have opportunities for you to sponsor Socials with the Saints, which is one of our other wonderful podcasts, as well as a monthly event. And you can even choose which saint you sponsor. So that's a wonderful opportunity. And then there are others. We have expenses related to keeping up our studio here at Pilgrim Center of Hope, where we record our media and where we invite guests that you know and love and enjoy, and some that you have never met before, but that you gain so much from. All of that does come at a price. And so we invite you to help us to continue to keep up that studio, to continue to produce these wonderful media that ultimately people are looking for, right? We know, we see in our parishes, in our communities, we're seeing more and more people that are looking for hope. Even the other day when our staff was out at a venue that we were checking out to be able to grow our events, our annual events that we have, and at one of those venue visits that we had last week, the facility manager came to us afterwards. We were all gathered in a circle and said, you may want to think about your capacity expanding even more, because now more people are interested in going to church. Now more people are interested in looking at their Bible. And that's a fact, and we found that really interesting that was coming from someone who, based on what we had talked about with this person about their venue, did not affect the conversation at all, but it did make an impact on us in terms of them realizing that there was, at a secular venue, that they saw that there were more people that were looking for God. And so we want to encourage you, if you want to be able to help make a difference in that search for people, to please consider donating to Pilgrim Center of Hope. Or if you can't donate right now, please share this with a friend. If you know someone who has been blessed with an opportunity recently, just sending them a message and saying, hey, I have this really great ministry that I find so important today, and I really support what they're doing. Could you give them a look and see if you would like to, make a donation to their fundraiser? We would so appreciate that. That word of mouth is one of the most powerful ways to be able, and one of the most effective ways to be able to draw more people into this great work. And so we thank you for any and all ways, most especially including prayer, that you are supporting Pilgrim Center of Hope. One more thing that I want to point out to you all today in this special short mini episode for you is to make sure that you're connected with us via our email list. So if you go on pilgrimcenterofhope.org, at the bottom, there's an email sign up. And I really want to encourage you to sign up for that email list, because we are going to be having some really big announcements coming up in the next few weeks. So you won't want to miss it. And we want to encourage you to be connected with us. Some of these announcements may show up on Journeys of Hope, but some of them may not. For example, I will just give you one because we've just announced it on our email recently, our September email, that we have become a strategic partner with Visit San Antonio, which is the official visitor and convention bureau, so to speak, of the city of San Antonio. And so we are thrilled as Pilgrim Center of Hope to be able to have been named a strategic partner, which means we have lots more opportunities now to be able to reach more and more people who are coming to San Antonio and visiting, and even people who are from San Antonio who are still using their platform to be able to find events and things to do and places to go. So that is one of the exciting things that has been happening as Pilgrim Center of Hope is growing. And you can rest assured that we have lots and lots in the pipeline ready for you. So if you want to help us continue this mission, please Visit pilgrimcenterofhope.org and see what you can do to join us in this mission of evangelization as we guide people to Christ and the church. Well, we want to give you a jewel for the journey, which is our tradition, of course, before we take off here. What would it be without a jewel for the journey? And this week we have a jewel for your journey, which is from Romans 12:12, and that is rejoice in hope, endure in affliction, persevere in prayer. Fellow pilgrims, let's continue to live our journey with love, faith, courage, and hope. Until next time, may God bless you and safe travels.